All right. So I am going to share some things tonight that I haven't shared publicly before. And we're going to get into for Diana from San Diego, Sarah from Arizona, Kate from Colorado, Casey from Santa Monica, Gail from East Falmouth, Massachusetts, woo woo, Hannah from Australia. I love it. Manisha from the Bay Area. We have women from all over the world. So exciting. Brittany from Ohio. Hi from Florida. Yeah. So what we're playing in the background is 528 hertz. It's a frequency of divine love, or also known as the miracle frequency. Daniela from Costa Rica. Carly from Florida. So exciting. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Like I said, it's a new moon tonight, and in honor of our gathering in the new moon and everything that we're talking about tonight is going to be so so aligned with the new moon. We're moving forward, and welcome to Divinely Design Your Life, the masterclass. It's a masterclass and a meditative journey to help you make your dream life your real life. Which I'm sure that's why you're all here, right? You're ready to do it. And what a perfect time to do it on this evening together as we turn this chapter. Yay, I'm so glad you guys like the book. If you like the book, you're going to love this. So just a little lay of the land for tonight. I'm going to guide you through 4 different activations that are going to assist you in your divinely designing your life journey, your manifestation process, illuminate perhaps some things that maybe you haven't realized, give you a different perspective. I think we're going to have some miracles tonight. Miracles are a shift in perception. So it's when you've been looking at something one way, we let the light in and the miracle happens and you're able to see something that you couldn't see before. And we're going to do some actual, energetic work together. So you're going to experience a shift and feel the shift. At the end of the workshop, I'll also tell you a little bit about my Divinely Design Your Life process class, which some of the ladies on here are already in as well, if you're curious about that. But before we get going, we are going to, there you go. Here's my first slide. I'm going to show you how you can start living in the world in a way that is not of this world. If you know me, or if you've been around with me, you know this is one of my absolute favorite sayings. It's from A Course in Miracles, and it's truly, I think, my mission statement. Is we get to live in a world live in this world in a way that's not of it. And what does that mean? That means essentially we get to be in the 5D while existing in the 3D. We get to be connected to our divinity, to our infiniteness, to our cosmic self, whatever you want to call it, our quantum, while living in the earth reality. And when you live in this world in a way that's not of it, that's when the magic starts happening. That's when things start flowing to you. That's when people are like, why is it so easy for her? This just came to mind. I didn't even think about this. I have a stepdaughter. She's 10 years old. And when she's not with us, I always, I'll share her videos of like cool things I'm doing and places I'm visiting and stuff like that. And I was sending her a video of this, this conference I was at recently. And she was like, Cassandra, you are so lucky. You do the coolest things. And she's like, you're 4-leaf clover lucky, right? It's the 10-year-old, right? She's like, you're 4-leaf clover lucky. And then she goes, no, you're 10-leaf clover lucky. And, I think that's the best way to describe it, right? And I was like, yeah, and she's a little bit older. I'll explain to her exactly what that kind of 10-leaf clover lucky entails. But that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. Essentially, how to be 10-leaf clover lucky in life. And so I'm going to share with you how you can become a powerful manifester of your reality and the life that your soul has been craving. because I know you're here because there's a life that your soul has been craving that might not be in front of you right now. So I'm going to share with you the process for really big activations of the process that transformed my life and has transformed the lives of many of my clients. So, without further ado, I want you to set the mood to receive the download. So, if this means for you, I started setting the mood with the music. If you've got some essential oils you want to put on, if you want to light your incense, if you want to light a candle, I hope that you have a journal with you. If you don't, just take a moment right now, go grab a journal, go grab whatever you need to take some notes right now during this, because you're going to get a lot of stuff flowing through, and I want you to have a place where you can just download all of that and look at it after. And of course, get a glass of water or a tea or some sort of beverage. And turn your phone off, turn your notifications off. Don't be multitasking during this. This is an energetic activation and an upgrade. And so you're really going to want to give me your full attention if you want to receive the full benefits. Think of this as a little treat for yourself, a little spa night. And so while you're doing that, I also want you to, and feel free to share with me in the chat, because it's more powerful when we share and we call it out. If there is an intention you came here with tonight, let me know in the chat. I also encourage you to write this at the top of your journal, or whatever paper you might be taking notes on, what your intention for tonight is. If there's a specific area of your life that you really looking to manifest something on, if there's a specific desire that you have that you're craving a shift on, write that down. When we claim it, what's going to happen is you're going to now listen to the transmission you're receiving and utilize these activations specifically towards that intention or that thing that you're really ready to have the miracle in. Okay, so let me know in the chat if you want to share that with me. If you want to share that, love that. Thank you, Brittany, for being the brave first person to go. Craving a shift in my job. I want to do something I'm passionate about that I align with. Amen. I'm sure that you're saying that for many other people who are watching this as well, while helping people. I love it. If anybody else wants to be brave and join Brittany, you can share. I'm going to put up, so these are some reasons why I think you've been called here. Oh, I love that, Bernice, to find your North Star. So the first calling, I feel like, that comes up that brings you here tonight, and for those of you, once again, if you've been, and I know some of you that are on here have been in, calling in a beautiful home for my children and I. Oh, I love that, Kate. For some of you who have been around, you know that I firmly do believe that when you're here, you have been called. When you're in one of my programs, whether you're working with me, when you're in my vortex, I know that you've been called here for a reason. So one of these reasons is I think you're here because your soul knows that your time is now, and there's something here, there's something tonight. It might be just a little thing I say, it might be something that you see, it might be an example that I give, it might be a meditation or one of the clearing exercises that we do tonight that's going to unlock a whole new next level for you. And so I believe that you were called here for a reason. Yes, I love it. Sarah, my intention is to find what sets my soul on fire, to truly love life. Yes, I want to be involved in community work that helps women. I love that, Gail. Continue facilitate connection with my husband on the other side. Lindsay, yes, yes. Calling in all the possibilities of combining my kids and I with my partner's family, even though we live an hour apart. I love that, Kate. Beautiful. Chills. Yes. Yes, Lindsay, I actually have a whole module in the process on connecting to a loved one on the other side, because I lost someone very close to me as well. Calling number 2, you're ready to be a magnet for your desires. You know that you were born to create your life, and you're just ready to unlock the how, right? And I love this. I know that some of you guys, or all of you guys probably that are here, have that deep feeling deep inside your soul that resonates with the truth, that when you saw that wording, whether you've been to a bunch of my workshops or this is the first one you've ever been to, you were like, divinely design your life. and that part of your soul that knows that you are meant to divinely design your life, recognize that as truth. And it called you here because you want to figure out the how. How do I begin that journey? How do I move forward in that journey? My intention is to make an income in the most creative ways on my way to remembering my Dharma. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Guys, thank you so much for all you guys sharing. I love it. Calling number 3, my favorite. You feel stuck. You've been trying your own hand at creating your own dream life, and something just hasn't been clicking into place. And if this is you, if this is your calling, I really want to commend you for showing up tonight, because so many people will spend years in inertia because they don't want to show up to get the help, right? To invest their time, to, learn different aspects of it, right? And we keep on doing the same thing. And, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing your intentions. And we're going to hold the space. We're calling in right now, before we even step any further, we're calling in all of our divine support squads, our higher power, our angels, our guides, all of our loved ones to surround us and hold us this evening as we move through this workshop together, that we receive whatever downloads, whatever shifts, whatever miracles, whatever ahas, whatever divine guidance that comes through for us to take that next powerful leap into the life that our soul is craving. And so it is. So whatever you brought here today, I know it was divinely guided. And I know that there's a key in this next hour that's going to unlock something powerful for you. So get excited, because I am. All right. So this is something I've never shared too much before. I want to share my personal why and a little bit about where I started and how I got to where I am, and, give you a little background on me, because I think when I tell you about what I manifested, it's a lot more impressive if you know where I started. And also, my hope is that some of you on here tonight might identify with me. You might look at some of the things I'm about to share and say, wow, she's not special in the best way. She is not special. And if she could do it, I could do it. She didn't, she wasn't like, born in like a temple on a mountaintop somewhere under a full moon, when magically delivered through like a golden, a golden sleigh. No, she was just a regular girl that decided to go for it. So my personal why, and that's why I do what I do, why I want to share these tips on manifesting, why I wrote Manifesting Through Meditation, why I teach Divinely Design Your Life, the process, why I work with women, is that I really want to empower women to live their juiciest lives. And therefore, I feel like I have to live by example, right? I didn't grow up with anyone that could help me create this life. I honestly, most of my life, I felt like I was at a disadvantage when it came to living my dreams. And I was determined to rise above my circumstances. So first of all, I want to just let you know that I'm aware that I'm white, and there's a lot of privilege that comes with being white. There is an advantage, an inherent advantage to that. And I don't want to dismiss that with the things I'm about to share with you. However, I didn't have anyone in my family that was an entrepreneur. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I didn't, have, crazy connections. I didn't know even like a friend of a friend who was like successful or famous. I felt like there wasn't like a tree branch I could climb to find someone to even help me figure out how to be successful. I didn't have anyone in my family that was into these spiritual tools or concepts. I was raised Catholic, and my dad has a lot of faith, which was helpful. But, when I was venturing into talking about manifesting and meditation and exploring all of this, I didn't have a single soul in my life who knew what I was talking about or thought I wasn't completely crazy. um, and so these are on the side. What you can see is just some of the things that I have manifested over the years. These are more professional. So my latest book, though some of you have already read, Manifesting Through Meditation, #1 new release on Amazon, just came out this past September. My first book, Eat with Intention, over there also was a #1 release on Amazon, and that came out a few years ago. I have a blossoming spiritual mentoring process. Um, and I also was on an ABC show called The Taste with Anthony Bourdain and Nigel Lawson for a season, and that was a very exciting time. And then these are just a bunch of press. I've been featured in Forbes on, how I built my brand. I've been featured in Vogue on how I made a Zen den out of my bedroom. I've been featured in Well and Good as a spiritual mentor. You name it, self-help posts, you can read them all. Let's move on. But this is what I really want to tell you about. This is how it started. So this is something that I don't talk about a lot. How it started after college. Let's talk about college, right? So after college is when you kind of go off and you're on your own trying to make your life happen. And I moved into Manhattan, and I lived in a room about that size. I sadly don't have pictures of this room, and it actually took me a while to find a picture of a room as small as the room that I lived in during that time period. And my room did not have quite a beautiful window like that one, but it was about that size where like just the bed fit in, and there was like a closet I could barely open. So that was my first apartment, and I worked 5 jobs to try to make enough money to pay for that small room in a bigger apartment. Obviously, it wasn't. I had roommates, and one of the jobs that I had, you see in that picture all the way on the left, my most humiliate one of the more humiliating jobs is I had to hand out flyers, like discount flyers for like a deli that you get $5 off at, and I would hand them out to people that were coming on their lunch break on Fifth Ave, and like in like the more like this, so all these people in these beautiful suits and like coming out of these big beautiful offices, and I would be there wearing like a red hat and like a little vest and like handing out these like discount things for a sandwich. And I would do it right before I would hand out the breakfast ones before the breakfast trains got in at Grand Central. So I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, be there at 5 a.m. as people started coming to work, and I'd work till 8 a.m. And then I would have a break, and then I'd work again for the lunch crew from like 11 to 2, and then I would have a break, and then I would work again. You get the drift. It was an awful job. Most people completely ignored me or like scowled at me or like would like bat it away. Um, my PSA is that if you ever see someone on the street handing out flyers, please just smile and take one. They're just trying to live their life. I am when I come to people leaving flyers because I know you have to go through them all or they won't let you stop. I'll be like, give me 20 for my friends. so so this was a less glamorous time in my life. In fact, I was barely making enough money to get by. I was struggling so much that I had to apply for food stamps. I asked my parents for some help. I was telling them what was going on, and they were like, well, you're a big girl now, so if you're not, you should look into applying for food stamps and see if you're eligible. So I did, and I lived on food stamps. And what I ate for most of the meals a day, unless I got a free sandwich at the deli I was doing flyers for, was rice, beans, and corn. That lovely photo. And that was for that lovely time in my life. And one of the things that and that was when I was like trying to fuel my dreams. I was trying to like just keep myself afloat, right? And the E True Hollywood Story thing is actually one of the reasons I think I got through that time in my life. I would watch E True Hollywood Stories like almost like a comfort blanket or a therapy session. And I found them so inspiring because I would see some of these celebrities who are like these huge, big celebrities or musicians, that they have on that show, and they would show you where they came from. And for the first time in my life, I saw people that, a lot of the people on that show had come from humble beginnings. A lot of the people in that show had faced adversity, had, different, situations that they had to overcome to become who now they are. And like now you would look at them and be like, oh my God, they're so successful. Right. And so that was this like fuel that kept me going. I would watch it like every night to go to sleep, and sometimes I would cry while I did that just because I wanted it so bad. Like I wanted it so bad. Can any of you guys relate to that? Like let me know in the chat if anybody relates to that. If you've ever been in a position where you literally feel like your desire is like burning a hole in you because you want it sad, you feel so far from it. Yeah, Brittany. I know that feeling so well. Oh gosh, I remember that feeling. And yes. And here's how it's going. So, through doing the work and the tools that I'm going to share with you tonight, I've been able to manifest some of the things in my life right now that I could have never fathomed back then when I was eating my rice and beans in my cubby hole apartment, right? And so I want to show you this because I want you to know that the stuff that I'm sharing with you comes with years of experience, comes with me working these concepts and these principles um, for over a decade and literally manifesting some of the most wonderful things in my life. So I shared with you earlier some of the bigger professional accomplishments, right? Like my books. I've been on TV. You can see if you recognize that's from Home and Family. I've been on a bunch of different TV shows, and let's just go through some of these. So you can see a couple of crazy girls on a party boat, and that photo, that's some of my friends. That photo for me symbolizes the friend, like my friend group, right? For a very long time when I was on this journey, like I said, I didn't have a soul. There weren't groups like this back in the day. Like we're talking like 2009, right? There were like this wasn't, at least I didn't find them, let's say, back in the day. Maybe I'm sure they existed somewhere, right? And so that, that to me, now that I one of the things I manifested that I'm really, really proud of is a group of soul centered women that are my close friends, that I can have these kinds of spiritual conversations, that we go on trips together, that we do rituals, right before it was a full moon before we went on this boat ride, and we all, sat in ritual together and like played the drum and like lit candles and shared our manifestations. And then even when we're dancing, we're completely sober on this boat, high on our own vibes, dancing to this like loud music and just like, activating, our joy and our love for life. And that's one of the manifestations that, it might not be a material manifestation, but it's something I'm really proud of. Next to it, obviously, is my podcast, Divine Downloads, is like the top 2% of spiritual podcasts around the world. It's wild, crazy. I'm sure some of you have listened to it. Down below, you may have seen my lovely fiance. He looks a little pasty in that photo, but those are some of our like wedding website shots. I manifested, my future husband, and right next to him is a picture of the beautiful chateau in France that we'll be getting married at this summer. So I not only manifested an incredible partner who is literally a dream support system, and just so many things that I specifically wrote out and wanted in desires in human form. But I also manifested my dream wedding. Never, I always fantasize about getting married in the south of France at a chateau. And I don't know if I ever really believed it could happen. And I claimed it, and it's happening. And it's even attached to a biodynamic vineyard and a Michelin star restaurant. So like even better than I had manifested. Down below, you'll see my little Carlito. This is Carl, my adorable dog, and that's right, I manifested Carl as well. I called in. I wanted a kind of an older dog with an old man name, and I wanted him to be small enough to go in my carry-on and travel because I didn't, want to be able to take him with me. And Carl came through on the adoption site, and it was love at first sight, and he's been my little companion ever since. Next to him, these two crazy kids are my parents. And those are Grateful Dead shirts that I made for my dad's 65th birthday. And on the back, they say like grateful for dad, or, grateful for 65, grateful for Ken, for my mom. And we did because we were quarantined, I flew there and we quarantined together and did like a little Grateful Dead pool party. And one of the things that I manifested recently that was also really important to me was a better relationship with my parents. I struggled with that for a bit, and that has been a huge improvement in my life. And then to the very right is some stills from a film that I shot a few months ago. And another thing that I've opened myself up to is allowing myself to do some more acting work and TV work, which is something that, I've been on TV a lot as myself, and I wanted to open myself up to, playing around creatively. As you guys know, I'm a big believer in living a juicy life. So part of your juicy life, I think, is that you get to like taste all the flavors. You get to do all the things that light you up. And so that's a really recent manifestation. I opened the gates up for that in April, this April, and I've already booked 2 feature films, got an agent and manager, and I have like so many auditions every week. It's kind of amazing and surreal how fast things can flow, but it's because I've had years of working this process. So now my most latest and exciting manifestation is this house. I'm the proud owner of this house. I just bought it last week. It is gorgeous. It's even more gorgeous inside, but I do think the outside is very stunning. It's brand new 2019 construction. And if you stay tuned on my Instagram, I'm sure at some point you will start seeing the inside of it as I decorate it. But we just closed on it this week. And that was, again, something that, using the tools that I'm telling you, I was able to manifest that way faster than I expected. So this is just a little taste. I hope that you guys saw something, whether it was professional or personal or somewhere here. That's why I was, when we were talking about the house earlier, I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell you, right? I just want to show you the range of things that you can design for your life, that you can create for your life, right? So what are you ready to call in? What's your version of a divinely designed life, right? I want you to think about that. Jot some notes down in your journal right now, because I just showed you all the beautiful different aspects of the things that I've manifested, whether it was, more of the professional, like the book and the TV, or it was the personal, like my friends or my fiance, or, my family, or, home, right? There's just Carl, Carl, of course, Carl, right? There's just so many things that you can, you can call in. And so I want you to really, think of it in a more holistic way. All right. The power has been inside of you all along. It's just time to activate it. All right. Activation number 1. Let's get going. You are as powerful as you remember you are. This is so important. This is so important. Do you connect to the truth of who you are on a daily basis? Are you living in limitation or are you living in possibility? I want you to just be honest with yourself right now. It's just you, and you can share with us if you want, but you don't have to. It's just most important that you're honest with you right now, because the number one thing that people forget when they're trying to divinely design their life, when they're trying to manifest something, when they're trying to call in, is they forget who they are. They forget the truth of who they are. They try to skip to the vision board or the affirmation or whatever other like thing they're doing, but they forget that we need to remember our power. We need to remember how powerful we are, because when we're able to step into the truth of who we are, connect on a daily basis, remember that we are divine, remember that we are infinite possibilities. The core of our essence is infinite possibilities, right? When we remember that, that's when we're a magnet, right? From that space, what happens is our entire energy vibration aligns with our desires that we're ready to call in, because we're like, of course I can have it. Why wouldn't I have it? Right? And also, when we're connected to that truth, that's when we receive the divine guidance. That's when we know that intuitive next step to take. That's when our arms and feet move in service of what our heart is ready to see manifest in the world, right? And we are that magnet because we're thinking and speaking and taking action from that space of our infinite potential, instead of being stifled by our limited self, by our human, our 3D, right? The part of us that lives in that world of limitation, that lives in the world of like, oh, that's possible, but that's not possible, or that if I can't figure out how it's going to happen, it can't, right? So I want you to be honest with yourself right now. How much are you living in that truth of who you are? And so I want to just share a couple of the things that you can do to plug into your divine essence on a daily basis. And if you're not doing some of these, I want to encourage you, pick at least one thing. These are not hard things that I'm sharing with you, but each one can be incredibly impactful if you actually institute it. So daily meditation, obviously, if you know me, I know a lot of you read the book, so you know I'm a stickler about meditation. Meditation is such an important key, and one of the biggest reasons why meditation is such an important key to all of this is because it's in meditation that we connect to that divine essence inside of us. It's in meditation that we connect to that quantum field, or we can create whatever we want, or we can manifest that what we're calling in, right? And so if we're not giving ourselves that time to plug in, to leave our body and to enter into our essence and to be in that field of creation, then we're not hanging out with our most powerful creative space, right? Prayer or asking for the miracle. So this is a super simple way. Some people have a religious connotation to prayer, but to me, prayer is just asking your higher power, the divine. It could be angels, loved ones, whoever you want to talk to, ascended masters. You want to talk to God, Jesus, Buddha, Elvis. I don't care who you want to pray to, but pray to whatever your higher power is, right? Whatever the universe, source, whatever name you want to call it, and ask for help. Say it could be as simple as you could start the prayer being like, hey, God, universe, divine, love, can you please help me today be more aware of my true infinite potential? How many of you can commit to just doing that, right? I guarantee you, if you started just saying that prayer every day, a whole lot in your life would shift. And just say, you know what? I wake up in the morning, and before I do anything, I just say a little prayer. God, universe, divine. I always say, God, angels, grandma, guide me. Make me aware of my divine essence. Make me aware of my infinite potential. And then kind of what I briefly mentioned is getting clear on your relationship with your higher power, right? Ask for signs. Ground with a mantra. I am in divine human form. I am divine in human form. I love using this, right? When I just walk, when I'm like on a walk, I'm going to the grocery store or something, and I'm feeling a little off. I just say that to myself in my head. I'm the divine in human form. You say that to yourself where you're like walking through CVS while you're, running errands. You'll notice your whole body shifts. Your whole energy shifts. You can't say that and be slouching over. You can't say that and be in a bad mood. When you start claiming that, there's like every particle in your body is like, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Of course we are. Right? So steal it, take it, write it down, use it. Asking for signs. So this is if you want more confirmation of the divine in your life, feel free to ask for signs. We talk a lot about that in my course, The Process, as well. I think that's a really important thing. If you want that visual affirmation, it can help you activate that reminder inside of you, and it's totally cool. Just ask for the sign. And again, with your relationship with your higher power, I don't care what your higher power is. That's up to you. You need to get clear on what your relationship to your higher power is. You're here because you obviously believe in something greater than us, right? And you obviously believe they had some pretty great intentions for us as well, right? And so, but you getting clear on, what do I want that relationship to be? What do I even want to call it? Sometimes we reflexively just pick up other people's vocabulary. Just sit with yourself. Ask yourself, who cares what your favorite, spiritual author or influencer, what your mom or your friend or whoever calls their higher power? When you sit with it, what feels really good for you to call by? Because the more you develop that relationship, the more powerful and connected you're going to feel. And the more everything flows and manifests. Okay, I'm going to tell you already, we're going to go a little bit over time. So please, if you can bear with me to stay over time, I appreciate you. I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit because for those of you that are in I love God, angels, guides, universe, please help me. Perfect, Brittany. For those of you who have been in my courses or come to my workshops, they already automatically add a half an hour because I always just give. I have so much to share. So it's going to be worth it for you guys to stay to the end because this is really juicy. So I'm going to quickly go over this. So I just want to give you an example of some clients and people that have gone through this work. When I worked on this module, reconnecting to my higher power and my own divine essence, everything started falling into place. It was like the volume on my intuition got turned up all the way. Not only did I feel more connected, I felt more powerful. The divine guidance that comes through right now is gold. Completely changed the way I operate in my life. I didn't even realize I had been skipping over the most important part of manifesting. I can't even tell you how many different clients and process members have sent me emails similar to this, right? And again, Ginny was not someone that was completely new to spirituality or anything like that. She had been around the block. She had done a bunch of spiritual workshops. She had had a coach. She had done all this stuff. And then she came to this work and she was like, whoa, this was this giant gap. And I didn't even realize that it was something that I had completely not taken the time to do and to make such a priority. And it's the foundation for everything we're going to manifest. All right. So it's time to just take a moment. I want you to touch the divine. We're only going to do this for 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to do a quickie meditation with you because we have a lot to get through tonight. And I want to make sure you get all of these. And you guys know you have access to, other of my meditations if you need to do that as well. So let's just go inside for 5 minutes and see how powerfully we can shift in 5 minutes, okay? So get comfortable, close your eyes, and I want you to just start taking some nice deep breaths. In your nose and out your mouth. And I want you to bring your awareness into your heart center and just see a golden ball of light in your heart center. And now we're going to use our breath to expand that light and grow that light. So you're going to do a breath with me, but you're only going to be using your mouth. And so we're going to inhale through our mouth 2 times into our heart center. And then we're going to take a long exhale. So it's going to go something like this. And you're just going to do that, and you're going to feel that golden ball of light expanding. Just continue it with me. We're only going to do it for a minute to grow this beautiful divine energy inside of us. And you're feeling that beautiful divine energy circulating, that oxygen moving and expanding your divine heart-centered energy. Continue with it. Feeling that golden ball of light grow until it's surrounding your entire being. And just a few more times. And as you're finishing up with this breath, inhaling twice out the mouth, exhaling out the mouth, I want you to feel a beautiful golden light coming down in through the top of your head at the crown and coming into your heart. So your heart is expanding outward, and you are receiving beautiful divine light into your crown and melding into your heart. And feeling that beautiful divine light growing and emanating. And give me 3 more powerful, powerful breaths. And now take a deep inhale and hold it. And just feel all of that divine light entering in through the crown of your head, filling up your entire being with light. Just feeling that, feeling every particle of your being divine, infinite. Exhale. Keep your eyes closed and just take a few minutes to breathe normally here. Feeling that spark, the unlimited part of you. The part of you that is possibilities, that is potential, that is pure creative energy, that is love. It's this place and the knowing of this place that we create from. And so when you're ready, you can open your eyes, take a little drink of water if you want, and let me know how you're feeling in the chat. You know, that was just a few minutes that we did today. But I have a feeling, thank you, Wanda, that you're feeling recentered, that you're feeling a bit different just after those few minutes, right? Restful, peaceful, calm, open. Now think about if you did this every day, How would you start to feel if you started your day feeling more calm, centered, cleared, buzzing? I love this. Amazing, shifted, grounded. How might you show up differently? How would your magnetism increase? And that was just a little taste, right? All right. Fuzzy, optimistic. Oh, I love that, Julie. See, isn't it amazing how just 5 minutes of focusing on our divine essence, of using our breath to expand it, can shift us? We're feeling open, cleared, optimistic. And all we did was focus on that divine essence. And you imagine, what if you even did that for 20 minutes? Right? I mean, some of you guys probably have access to, those of you who are our process members, we have a whole meditation library. Those of you that have the book, you have the keys to the kingdom there, right? Just giving yourself that moment. Okay, so we're going to speed through a little bit activation too, because I took a little bit longer on that. So your desires are divine directions. I want you to hear this now in your new buzzy state. What if you stopped doubting your desires? What would change in how you feel and think about your desires if you knew that they were meant for you? Like we were talking about that burning desire feeling that I was feeling when I was, living in that tiny apartment, right? And I still feel it to this day about different things still, right? And it's evolved as I've manifested some of those desires. But what if you knew that anything that you desired was actually meant for you, right? And this is, Amy's story, but this is another, some of these stories that I'm sharing, I picked ones that are ones that I hear over and over in different iterations in my work over the years, right? I thought I knew what I wanted till I got to the module where we distill our soul desires. And I realized I had focused on so much on my career goals because they felt acceptable and admirable, and had been completely ignoring my deep desire to be a mom and wife as well because it felt like a silly ambition. I can't tell you. I hear this from women all the time in my work. And part of being a powerful manifester and divinely designing your life is owning the fact that you get to desire whatever you want to desire. That the desire in your heart is there for a reason. That the things that you want are not random. They are planted in your soul for a reason, because you're here to bring forth the manifestation of them. So what if you knew that? And feel free to jot down anything that comes through in your journal right now. How would you change the way you approach things? How would you feel differently when you have that burning desire? I actually had this feeling just today about something in my life. I was in touch with that burning desire, but it's so different now. And I think about how I relate to it now versus back in the day when I was in my 20s and that was happening. I remember there was so much pain associated with that desire before. And now I had that beautiful moment of that desire, and it's like bubbling up inside of me, right? And this knowing of like, ooh, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. I know it's bubbling up because I'm meant to see it manifest. I'm meant to bring it into fruition. And so I can allow that desire to direct me, to be my GPS. The desires that we have are guiding us on the path. It's saying, go there. Pay attention to that. Look up that, right? Your desire for whatever it was tonight that brought you here, again, it like brought you to a place on the path, right? And so maybe you had one desire that brought you here, and then another desire after tonight will bring you to another place, right? You have it, like our desires are meant to direct our way. And so it's just take a moment. Remember, your soul already knows the way. Put a hand on that beautiful heart that just filled up with so much divine energy. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what do I desire? What is my soul desire the most right now in my life? Just take a few breaths and just honor whatever arises. Whatever that first thing that arises is perfect. If you guys want to share it, you're welcome to. If you want to keep it sacred and write it in your journal and acknowledge it. And maybe it was the thing you already knew. Or maybe it surprised you. And maybe you heard something else. Because like my example with Amy, one of the things I've learned in my work is that sometimes we have these desires that we think are more societally acceptable, that we kind of like desire by osmosis, I call it, right? Where you see everybody on Instagram have something. But if we don't take that time, right? If we don't meditate, connect divinely like we did, right? To that true essence of ourselves. And then spend that moment putting our hands on our heart, being quiet, right? Having those reflective moments, especially after a nice meditation, where you really ask your soul, what do I really want? What do I really want? That's when we find out what our soul really wants, right? Thank you for sharing, Gail. Feeling like I have a purpose, Carly, creativity and connection. So beautiful, right? And I love that. The creativity and connection and feeling like they're perfect examples of that, right? There are so many, and that's also a great example of how you know it's your soul speaking, right? Because there are so many different ways that creativity and connection can manifest for Carly. There's literally infinite possibilities for how that could come through. And Carly might have some specific things in her head that she's thinking of in terms of creativity and connection. But when we get into our heart, we hear the essence of our desire. So instead of hearing, I want to take painting classes, we hear, I want to explore my creativity, right? And that's how our soul speaks. Same thing, like feeling that I have a purpose, right? Gail might have an idea of what that means to her, right? But her soul is not attached to any of the specificity. Her soul's just like, we just want to feel like we have a purpose, right? So it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for getting that clarity, because it's from that clarity, once again, then we can really manifest in a quantum way, because we're not cutting off any possibility or potential. Again, thinking that example of connection, right? I want to call in connection. We're not saying, oh, I want to be friends with Sally in yoga class. We're saying, no, I just want to feel more connection in my life. And I'm open to the infinite possibilities of how that can manifest. And when we do that, what happens is we allow the divine, the universe, to surprise us, to bring us something even better than we could have asked for. So thank you guys. You guys are right on track. So activation number 3, there is a frequency in your field right now that corresponds to the life that you dream of. We just need to get out any mixed signals. I want you to just sit with this for a second. And if you're still in like your Zen space after meditation, I hope you are. You even have your eyes closed for this, while I'm chatting. There is a frequency in your energetic field that you just felt a few moments ago that is an exact match for the life that you're dreaming of. And it's a frequency that wants to come manifest in the physical form. And the only reason it hasn't is because there's something else in your field that's blocking it, right? And that's the good news. The good news is it's just us and us. It's just you and you. And why that's good news is because we can handle that. You're a powerful creator of your reality. And so anything that's blocking or getting a mixed signal in the way, you absolutely have the power to shift. And so here are some of the biggest energetic blocks. And I want you to notice what of these come up for you right now. And again, feel free to journal on this. I'm going to take you through, again, some possible energetic techniques we can do to move them through. So the biggest one, and this one is often associated with events in our childhood, core wounding, I am not worthy or I am not enough. and I'm not worthy or I'm not enough manifests or shows itself in many different ways. It could be, oh, I don't have enough education to start that job, or oh, I'm not smart enough, or oh, I'm not pretty enough to do that, or I don't have, you know, this skill enough to do that, right? It's all different things. I'm not flirty enough to be that, desirable or whatever it is, right? And so I want to ask you to jot down in your journal right now around that thing that you specifically came here, the intention that you have, that thing you're ready to really call in right now that you want the shift with tonight. If there's any unworthiness or not enoughness in your field right now that might be blocking your signal around that. And again, just jot it down in your journal. It's between you and you, and just allow whatever comes through to come through. I'm a big advocate for radical honesty in this work, because that's how we make progress. Is we just look at our own stuff. We're not afraid to see our own stuff, right? Because once we bring it from our unconscious to our conscious, that's when it loses so much power. Just in that transition, just you recognizing it's already lost 70% of its power, because it's truly insidious when it's on that unconscious level, right? And it's just affecting how we act in life, right? And so the next one is, I have never experienced this. And this, I can tell you, this was a huge one. I had all of these, by the way, all of these. So, and I still, I'm sure, have some, and we're constantly clearing, right? I have never experienced this. So this was a huge one for me, you based on the story I already told you. I was like, well, I've never even experienced what it's like to be around someone who started their own business. I've certainly never experienced anyone that was a coach, or I never met anyone that was an author before I wrote my own book. I never experienced what it was like to, have certain levels of money until I had that. I never, and what happens is sometimes we put that thing so far away because it's not, because we have no idea. We're like, well, I've never been a CEO, so I don't know if I could be. I've never been, proposed to before, so I don't know if I can. And so this is something that, again, we just want to bring it to the light. Is this something? Is this some interference in your field that's getting in the way? Let's just look at it. Let's just see it, because again, this is a hint that you're in your limited mind and not in your limitless mind, right? And that's fine. We just want to bring it up. We just want to dredge it all up from the subconscious so it can't be sneakily blocking our manifestations on us. And the last one, and this is the hardest for people to admit to themselves: receiving this will cause me pain. And this is one that I recommend you write this down. And if you cannot think of it right now on this call, I want you to muse on it for the next couple of days, because if you are able to see the pain, any pain that you might associate with your manifestation, that will be a huge key for you to unlock it. I remember around earning money, I was ready to really reach that next level of abundance in my business, and I was looking at this. Is there any way? And I was like, why would I associate pain with having more money? I've had so much pain associated with being broke. Being more money should be a pleasure cruise, right? But again, when I spend that time, when I contemplated, what I saw? I saw that I actually had a belief that having a large amount of money would cause pain. If I made more than my father made, it might cause him pain. If I made too much money and everybody wanted to borrow money from me and I didn't feel comfortable with that, then that would also cause me pain. Or if I made money, then all of a sudden everybody's going to call me and sell me stuff, then that would cause me pain. I had all of these painful things associated with being rich. And to clear them again, like I said, it's just bringing them to awareness. Once I brought them to awareness, what I did is just ask really practical questions. It wasn't even anything crazy. I was like, okay, what are we going to do? One, you know, my dad doesn't need to know exactly how much I make, right? And if he does find out one day somehow that I make more than him, then I know he'll be proud. But I needed to walk through that actually, right? I needed to say, and you know what? If he's not, I can't, what am I going to limit myself my whole life? You know? And then again, I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do if people do ask me for money when I have money? And I came up with the plan then. Okay, I have strict, no, I'm not loaning friends money, right? I've given friends money before. I can give friends money, but I'm not loaning friends money. Because and I just came up with this. You don't have to do that, right? And the reason I did that was because I had one bad experience where I loaned a friend money and she never paid me back, and it was a time when I didn't have a ton of money either, and it put a real strain in our friendship, and it was something that I regretted deeply. And so it made me scared to have more money, because then I was like, of course I'm going to want to help friends out, and then it's going to be awkward and whatever. I had a whole story around it. So I just came out with a little game plan. Here's what I'm going to do. If friends need to borrow money, well, I'll see how much I can give them. I'll see if there's a way we can like work out a service exchange or whatever, right? And I came up with that plan ahead of time. So think about if there's anything that with receiving this will cause you pain. I'm not worthy is a huge block for me. Yes, thank you, Brittany. I'm not worthy is huge for a lot of us, and it's so important to just know that. So here are some of the transformative tools that I use in my coaching. I use in Divinely Design Your Life, the process to help shift us out of these blocks, right? So bilateral reprogramming, AIT. So bilateral reprogramming is when we bilaterally stimulate our brain. So I call it the butterfly, which is why I put a picture of a butterfly there. For those of you that work with me, right? And what we do is, we'll do it actually for a moment. You guys are gonna stick with me, right? Are you guys gonna hang out with me for a little bit longer if we go into this? So we'll do some bilateral reprogramming that kind of helps you shift and reprogram yourself around a specific trigger, right? And then AIT is another thing, and there's videos and all of this, in my course, the process to go through it, and I would be here with you guys literally for like 2 days if I did all of these with you, which I would love to do at some point, but not tonight. I'm already, obviously so over. So AIT is when we go through our chakras and we clear a belief that we've had so we put one hand where that belief is sitting in our body, wherever we feel it, and we go through and we clear that belief in every energy center. So that is one of the tools that I teach. Tapping, which I'm sure a lot of you know, where we tap on different energy meridians and shift our relationship while sharing different, going through the process of what we're thinking and shifting the way we say. Energy clearing, neural rewiring, rituals, mantras, divine truth meditations, Ho'oponopono, all different transformational tools, pretty much just to say that there's like a whole slew of things that you can throw at your blocks to clear them. And I'm sure there's even more than this. These are just the ones that I use in the process that I wanted to share, and the ones I use the most in my coaching. The divine truth meditation, for anyone you guys that has the book, is also in the book, right? And so the most important part is that when we're aware of it, what happens is that we're able to shift it. So are you guys willing? Do you want to do, I guess we could do 5 minutes. You guys willing to stay a little bit later, and we'll do 5 minutes of some bilateral reprogramming to shift a fear? Do you want to do that, or let me know in the chat? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let you know a little bit about Ashley's story. So it was amazing. After we did butterflies, what all my girls call it, butterfly, around my money fears, the way I have felt around my finances has totally shifted. I'm not getting as anxious anymore, and more opportunities for extra income are flowing in. This stuff is wild. And most of you and some of you guys on here have done it before, so feel free to share your experience as well in the chat with them. And so this is just, it's such it's so powerful. So I want you to think of one statement, one of those blocks that you came up with. One of those blocks. So maybe it's that I don't feel worthy of this, or a thing of pain that you associate with it, or maybe it's simply the thought of I've never done this before, and so I don't know, right? So I want you to, we're gonna cross our arms like this, and when I tell you to butterfly, what you're gonna do is you're gonna alternate hands, and you're just gonna do this, like you're kind of clapping on your arms. And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes now that you've got the butterfly down. Close your eyes, and I want you to think of this block. Think of this block that's coming up. And I want you to get in your mind's eye, a vision of the thing that you want to manifest. And so I want you to be seeing that thing that you want to manifest, some sort of image that symbolizes it. And then feel the feelings associated with this block, this thing that's blocking that from manifesting, and any thoughts and any feelings. And then I want you to just butterfly and just allow yourself to go into those thoughts, go into those feelings, and just notice what shifts, what starts coming up for you as you continue to butterfly and seeing that image of what you're ready to manifest, and just feeling the feelings around having that block and any thoughts that come up around that block that you've just uncovered. And again, just allow yourself to feel whatever feelings. If there's a little anxiety, if there's frustration, there's exhaustion, whatever comes up for you around this block, just feel it. And now whatever is coming up, I just want you to inject the thought, but what if this block is actually a lie? What if it's not true at all? And just keep butterflying. What if it doesn't mean what I think it means? What if my desire is truly divine, and so I can trust that I am absolutely worthy, absolutely enough to receive it? I can trust that it won't cause me pain or anyone else pain because it's divine. And if I've never experienced before, maybe it's because I get to experience it for the first time. Okay, and when you're ready, stop. Take a few deep breaths. Whew. Have a drink of water. You need to. And let me know in the chat how you're feeling. So just so you know, that was a very condensed version of it. Usually we do it for a bit longer than that, and often on the Q&A calls, in the process, we get specific to what the members are going through and whatnot. But that was just a little taste of what could happen if you take that time to use these tools to reprogram. I love that. Let myself believe in the magic. I love that, Lindsay. And for any of you ones, if anybody's out there and you feel a little bit incomplete, you feel like you have a little bit more to do, feel free to continue butterflying, and continue processing as we move on. Because like I said, was a condensed version of it. But I want you to think, how would your life change if you actually spent the time removing these blocks, right? Can you imagine just what we've been done tonight, right? If you spent that time tapping into your divine self, asking your heart what it really desires, your soul what it really desires to bring forth, and taking that time to bring those blocks into your awareness, and then using your tools to shift them, whether it be just practically shifting them. Ooh, feel the fear and do it anyway. Love that, Wanda. So remember, everything that you desire is already yours. It's already in your field. It's already been set aside for you. It's meant for you. Your soul came here to have the experience of manifesting it. If it hasn't manifested yet, there's just a little bit more clearing to do. Okay? And so we have the power and you have the tools to let it in. And sometimes we just need the reminder to use them, right? To not allow ourselves to live in the fears that we've just become on autopilot with, right? So activation number 4. Every moment holds the possibility to change your timeline or trajectory of your life. You can quantum leap. Isn't that exciting? That every moment holds the possibility to change your timeline or the trajectory of your life. You can literally quantum leap. And I call this the Tuesday morning phone call. You're like, in every day there's opportunities for things to happen, for you to shift energetically, for things to come in that completely shift the trajectory of your life. I was meditating that morning before I got the call for the taste. I was meditating actually right before I got the first email for my first book deal from a publisher asking me if I wanted to write a book. I had just been in meditation, opened. I was like out walking. I checked my phone to look at my email, and I was like, whoa. Like, that's how fast things can change when we do this work. Things can just come in. Things are always coming in. I'm always surprised. Literally in like the 10 minutes before I was like setting up for this, I got like 2 callbacks and 2 auditions, right? Things are always flowing in. So it's time for quantum embodiment. And if you guys know me, you know I love quantum embodiment. This is where it gets really fun. I mean, this has all been fun, right, guys? Let me know in the chat. This has been fun, right? You enjoying this? I think that's a huge part of it. And then something that I really advocate for too is that we should be enjoying this process. We should be enjoying this process. And so here's a few ways we can quantum embody. This is how we step into the version of ourselves and our life that we want to create. So everything that we desire has a version of ourself that would call it in, right? So when you think about that, let's say even like the house, right? There's also an equal version of you out there in the field that would call that in. Oh, yay, Carly. I'm so glad. Yes, I would give so much. I just love this stuff, and I want you guys to have the tools, and I want you to walk away with a lot of things to think about and a lot of things to get into action on. So what we want to do is we want to embody, we want to use quantum embodiment to embody the version of us that already has the things that we desire, right? That already is there, that's in that future. Us 2.0 is what I like to call it in the process. So here's 4 things that you can think about. So I would write these down, and then, as we go through, just jot down stream of consciousness. You've been in this energetic portal right now. Your divine support is all around you. Just write down the first things that come to you as I briefly go over these. So 1, habits. What are the daily habits and rituals of your 2.0 self that already has this thing that you desire? 2, what's the appearance of your 2.0 self? How do they dress? How do they do their hair? What do they wear to work? What do they wear, on a date or to different things, right? What do they look like when you see them in your mind's eye, when you see this version of you that already has everything you desire? 3, energetically, how do they vibrate? How do they feel? What's it like living in their body? Try that on. That's a fun meditation. There's a meditation in manifesting through meditation for that. There's also a meditation in our library in the process, and with the quantum embodiment module around that, there's a really juicy meditation in the quantum embodiment module that I love around this. But it's like, how do they energetically vibe, right? And I can guarantee all of us, that's going to be very similar. They're happy, they're joyful, they flow through life, they're excited about life, they're in gratitude. These are good things to know. Mentally, what is 2.0 you doing mentally? What are the thoughts inside their head? Are they beating themselves up? Probably not. When something doesn't go their way, do they give up, or do they think, oh, well, there must be a better way then. There must be something else I need to do. How do they respond to different things mentally? And so all of this quantum embodiment, what this does, it allows you to become that version of yourself that would magnetize all of those things that you desire. And what happens is when you become that version of yourself, those things do appear. And bonus, you're so much more joyful on the journey. You feel great because 90% of why you desire the thing you desire is how you're going to feel when you have it. Is who you're going to become in the journey to receive it. And so quantum embodiment is a huge leap forward in your manifestation process. And, to be honest, I think just a huge leap forward in your day-to-day happiness, while you're in the process. So write these down and feel free to reflect on this more again after the workshop, because there's huge things. So this, I love, this is my client, Michelle. She's literally a rock star. It's her band teacher. And she's just like knocked it out of the park this year. When she started doing quantum embodiment, when she started stepping into the version of herself that was already a successful musician, so much changed for her. The way she approached the day shifted. She stopped making money on side hustles and got paid gigs for playing music. And she booked out an amazing tour, and she even got paid to record her first demo album this year. She's touring around. I think she's touring around Europe this summer. She's booked crazy things. She was booking this huge tour, and then she's like, it'd be fun to do Europe. I'm going to do Europe. Next thing I know, she's booked to Europe, right? Oh, I want to go somewhere warm. Okay, I'm going to do some, like, she's so magical. And I remember when she first started, she was coming to me to think about, how she could create like an online program to teach drum lessons. And when we did the activations that I talked to you tonight about, when we got to soul desires, and I asked her, I was like, your desire is not really to teach an online drum course, is it? I was like, you want to be on Rolling Stone, don't you? And when through doing the work and clearing the box and quantum embodiment, she is well on her way. They're selling out, great venues. She's rocking it. She's getting paid to create music. Quantum embodiment is truly phenomenal. I mean, Michelle is a great example of how all 4 of these activations can really do amazing things. So I'm gonna do it here. There we go. There we go. Remember, you are magnetic and you attract who you show up as, right? So be conscious of who you show up as every day. So one of the biggest hacks I can give you as we're, moving to wrap up here is that the 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 more, let's say, the lower your tolerance is for you to lean back into that version of you that's been in the stories of limitation, that's been in the stories of this hasn't happened to me, that's been in the stories of this is hard, right? The more you have less tolerance, right? And the more that you actively keep bringing yourself into that 2.0 version of you, the more that you actively say, you know what, instead of allowing myself to just get discouraged and go watch Netflix because I just feel like I'll never be good enough to make this work, you say, no, I'm going to think of Cass. I'm going to do some butterflying right now. I'm going to bring up all these yucky emotions about not feeling good enough in this situation. And I'm just going to butterfly and I'm going to go into it and I'm going to see what comes up because I know ultimately I'm going to clear it. And I'm going to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to put on a tapping video. We have tapping videos, as well in the process. And you can find them, on my YouTube channel too. I'm going to tap on it, right? We change the way we approach, right? It's a different way of living in the world, right? Because the way we approach our life completely shifts, right? We claim that active creatorship every day and every moment by what we are choosing. Are we choosing that 2.0 version of ourselves? Are we choosing to have that divine connection? Are we choosing to remember that our desires are divine? Are we choosing to clear whatever is blocking in the way? And are we choosing to quantum embody the us that has everything that we desire? And so this is the part of the evening where I'm going to share with you about something for those of you that really want to go deep, right? If you want to learn even more about the tools to activate your divine life. And if you're ready to receive what you're dreaming about and, some of the things I've shared with you along the way, you're here for a reason. Like we said before, you showed up here because you were called, right? You're beyond, I'm sure a lot of you are beyond ready. You're here because your soul knows that your time is now, and there was something tonight that was going to facilitate your next level, right? And I want you to share with me in the chat, what was one thing that came through tonight? They were like, ooh, this is going to be something I'm going to take. This is going to be something that I'm used. This created a shift. I'm looking at this differently. Share with me in the chat. You want tangible tools and guidance, right? Which I was able to give you like an appetizer of tonight, a small serving. And I'm still pretty much I'm going like an hour, a half an hour plus over, right? Because I just want to give you guys so much. I can't help it. But I hope that, you got these tangible tools, these grounded things that you can take, right, onwards with you. Because you're ready. You're ready to be that magnet and you're just needing to unlock the how and the steps, right? And I'm sure that some of you are exhausted from going at it all alone. You feel stuck. You've been trying your own hand at creating your dream life and something just hasn't been clicking into place. And I know that exactly. Not only to know about the tools, but actually use them, Wanda. I love that. Your manifestations aren't reaching you yet because there are blockages. Yes, Carly. So good. So you have two options right now. One, you're going to pass on the opportunity that I'm going to share with you right now, and you'll keep moving forward. Hopefully you'll take some things for tonight. Maybe you won't. And you might just go back to doing what you're already doing. And you'll likely be in the same place if you make that choice. Or you could right now 100% commit to divinely designing your life and becoming a manifesting magnet. And you could start using a proven practice, get regular support, and flourish in a community of divine creators. And so that's why I want to invite you to Divinely Design Your Life, the process, which is my signature group coaching program. And it's where so many of the tools that I shared with you tonight come from and are expanded upon. It's the roadmap for creating your most magnetic life. And I do this by using a combination of spiritual wisdom and energy shifting modalities that will transform the way you view and navigate life, which was so much of what I shared with you today. So, a little bit more about Divinely Design Your Life, the program, the group program. Something you can expect by the end of the program for those of you that are curious. You'll have a strong spiritual practice and an open line of communication to the divine and your intuition. You'll be clear about what you are creating in your life and joyfully on the journey to manifesting it. You'll have a whole toolbox full of powerful techniques to reclaim your magnetism. Just some of the ones that I listed here tonight. And you'll start experiencing more of the life that you dream of in your current reality. You'll start manifesting right away. And my favorite, you're going to have some epic manifestation stories to tell your friends and family. You're going to have some of the stories like you heard about Michelle. And so this is just a little look at what you get in the process. So the process itself is the actual modules. There's 16 different modules that you get. Each one has a guided meditation, a reflection ritual, a teaching from me to crystallize your integration and transformation. There's a community. So there's some wonderful ladies. Some of the wonderful ladies are even on this workshop tonight because they just can't get enough of this work, and I love them so much for it. And the cool part about the community is that every module has a community forum. So you can ask questions and get my answers as you're going through that. You have that direct line to me. And you can also read about the insights and the responses that other women have had along the way. So you can see other people love to share their ahas in the community, and I love that. There is the library. This is where I have a bunch of guided meditations for you, energy clearing tools like EFT, walking you through. If you want to do butterfly with me, we have a huge library. So you never need to feel out on a limb when you need to clear something, or you want to connect to something, or you want to go deeper into the divine. There's so many meditative journeys. And the gatherings. So the gatherings are really cool. So they're actually, we have 2 live Zoom calls a month. So the first one's the gathering, which is a workshop that I usually astrologically align. So I look at what's going on astrologically and I pick a topic, and we do a meditative workshop and talk about a specific topic. And there's plenty of time for any of the members to ask questions. And then we have a full-on just live Q&A coaching session once a month. And that's where I just pop on. You guys pop on Zoom chat. I look at your beautiful faces. And whoever has a question or wants to be coached through something, or is feeling, a block around something, we dive into it. You get me as a coach. And so these are just more. There's literally so much included. So what we just talked about, there's over 13 hours of those modules. There's the hot seat coaching calls where, again, like you get that coaching. There's 20, I think there's way more than 25 now in the library. 12 hours, of live gatherings, all the things. You get access to, I also throw you guys access when I'm throwing other workshops and moon meditations. I always include my process peeps for free. And here, I'm going to move through this pretty fast, but I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of the internal workings of what the modules are inside. So we have that welcome to the process, divinely designed theory, connecting to your divine source, which we talked about tonight. And you can see that each one has both a teaching module and a meditative journey with it. Your divine life vision, and again, has your meditative journey with it. Your fears are where you forget. This is sounding a little familiar to you guys. And you have, not only do you have multiple teaching ones in here, your fears are fake, talking about how to call in a miracle. We go into Ho'oponopono, a beautiful Hawaiian clearing meditation and blessing. I explain it, and then I also guide you through it. Special little note from me. We talk about clearing all the fears, I teach you how to do tapping and EFT, clearing the fear from your body. That's that chakra clearing energy technique. I teach you how to do it. I guide you through it so that you have no excuses to have any of those blocks to what you want to manifest in your beautiful life. Your wounds are portals for expansion. Ooh, right? Module 6, we go into root wounds, those deep wounds from our childhood, right? And sometimes from past lives. We do a meditation for remembering, bilateral reprogramming. I walk you through the butterfly, do the butterfly with you so you could do the butterfly along with me. And then I teach you how to close those sessions, because those root wound sessions can be really intense and deep. So I show you how you can kind of tie it with a bow. If you have to then like run out to like go meet someone for a date, or you have to like run off and like, show up to work afterwards or something like that. Very important. And then we do quantum embodiment, timeline hopping. This was again what we talked about, becoming that person, and then that beautiful timeline hopping meditation there. Now, the review is we go over your divine daily work, right? So that's about midway through. We take a break, and let me know as I'm going through if you guys have any questions about the process or divinely design your life. I can answer it. Like I said, we also have members on right now, so they can also answer it if you guys do. And so your thoughts are divine creators. So we have a whole module on activating our thoughts and using them to manifest our reality, and speaking things into existence, using words as wands. Relationships, talking about relationships as divine learning assignments, and activating relationships. There we go. Tapping into your Akashic records. You guys read that. Going deeper with the spirit guide. Prioritization and practical action. We ground it back into earth. What does this look like before I set you off into the world? What does this work look like moving forward, right? On a regular basis. I think that's so important. And the most exciting thing, I guess, maybe it's not the most exciting thing, but an exciting thing is that you get to deep dive all at once if you like it, or you can give yourself a weekly date for your next level. So I'm someone that's a bit of a binger, so I like kind of making it a retreat, and taking a whole day and just like diving really deep into like a few modules at a time. Some people love to have like, it's like Sunday evening, it's like their ritual, it's a date, they like make themselves a nice dinner, they work on a module of the process, and it's like how they start the week off, right? So you get to do it all at your own pace, and also you get to do it around your life, so for me, my schedule is really crazy, so sometimes it's easier for me to just be like, oh, I want to do a bunch of them right now, instead of like scheduling in every week. Other people like it that. So you can do it however you want. And this is what you get inside the program. So you get that whole program, all of the modules I just went over with. You get the twice a month gatherings and the Q&A, and you get the free access pass. So whenever I do extra workshops or things, you always get in for free. You're on the VIP list if you're in the process with me. And of course, when I open up one-on-one coaching or any special small group programs, my process people get first priority. We have a VIP manifesting mastermind going on. That's all process people, because I know that if you've gone through the process, you have this strong foundation. You've done this work. And so we have, you're like already cooking with fire, right? We can really take things up a notch. So I wanted to let you guys know that I was you, as you saw in those slides, right? I had times where I didn't have a clear path, I didn't take control, and I didn't make myself a priority. But I got to a point where I was done, where I was really ready to see the life that I had spent so much time dreaming about be in my reality. And so I studied and I learned and I did this work and I committed to it. And that was how I got to, manifest all the beautiful things you guys saw tonight. And so I'm not special. And if I can do it, every one of you can. And I know it. You have it inside you. And it's just about having the tools and having the support and having the community to make it happen. And so this is just a little bit more. I also get the meditation library, like we talked about, tons of different meditations and different energy techniques. And I'm always adding things to that as I'm doing things, as things are coming up when we're on gatherings and calls and things come up and I get inspired, I add things to that. And again, you get a community of people, the women of the process, they get to know each other and, they see each other on the Q&As and they connect. And I know some of them have even become real life friends and they text each other, and they hold space for each other, and they help each other out with what they're manifesting and doing. And I think that's huge. It's so important for us to be surrounded by people. So as we end, of course, I'm sure those of you that are interested are wondering, what does this thing cost? If you're like me, that's how it would be. Maybe, what does this cost now? So, when I asked around, I sent a bunch of my mentors and some of my friends who do this work. I showed them the program, and I was like, what do you think I should charge for this? And they were like, oh my God, Cass, do not charge less than like $5,000. This is an insane amount of material. And it's also a lot of your live time that you're coaching and that you're working with these women, right? But you know what? One of my priorities, because I know what it's like to be, like I said, I know what it's like to make every penny count. I know what it was like, when I was on food stamps. I know what it was like when I paid my first coach. I literally, like, I didn't even know how I was going to make it happen. I took on another extra job, and I budgeted, and I didn't go out to eat, and I made every penny count. So it's important for me to make this accessible for you. So you get all of that for only 1,444 angel numbers, obviously. 1,444. And beyond that, I want to make it really easy for you to make it happen with whatever your budget is. So you have 3 different payment options. You get 12 monthly payments of 121, which is super digestible for, whatever budget you have. The 3 monthly payments of 482, or you can just go for the pay in full. And if you do the pay in full, you get my free Divinely Design Your Life journal in it. Let's see, do I have, oh, yeah, here's a picture of the journal. I have another picture. I was like, can I put a picture of the journal in here? And I'm just going to put this, if you guys are interested, if you're watching this and you're like, I'm so ready, and you really love the tools that you got tonight, and you feel excited and inspired, and ready to do this work, and ready to really commit to being a divine designer of your life, to manifesting the life you dream of, then I hope to see you inside Divinely Design Your Life. I know that it has the capacity to truly shift your life and to truly give you these tools to access the world in a whole different way. So the first 20 members tonight that pay in full, I'll give you a limited edition of our Divinely Design Your Life process journal. So you can go through the process with this beautiful journal. It says Divinely Design Your Life, the process, in gold on the front. And I'll write you a little love note inside of it too before you send it, just wishing you well. And so this is just the screen you'll see. If you're ready to sign up, you'll see your options. You can pick whichever one you want. Your next level you, and the roadmap for this ahead of you it's here. And so you can just fill out your details, super easy. This is just how you do it. You'll get this little confirmation page. It just says thanks. But the most important thing is that you check your email right after, because it'll be in your inbox, and then you'll have your login information in your inbox. And so as soon as you get that login information right after your pay, you'll come to this screen, and this is how you'll access the members portal. So you could literally get started tonight. As soon as you pay for it, you're in, you have access to everything. Our next gathering is on 11/11. We're going to do a big manifestation portal activation for 11/11 and rituals. So that will be, I hope to have you there. That will be the last day that we'll be accepting any new members into the process. But don't wait, because you can get started. So you already got some good energy going before 11/11. And so you'll see when you enter into your homepage, you'll see all the different products, and you can just click on the process. You'll also see your community there, as well as your library will be there as well. And just again, let me know if anybody has any questions. Feel free to ask. Super easy for you to get started today. And just think about how you felt tonight. Just think about, as we were going through the tools, and those are just this little taste of what's possible. You are here for a reason. Your souls ready to move forward. You want to manifest that life. That life wants you just as much as you want it. And I created the process because I wanted to demystify the whole manifestation process. I wanted to be able to hold women through that so I could fulfill my big why of guiding women to create the life that they dream of, to create their juicy lives and the things that they have always wanted for themselves, and to be able to clear their blocks and remember that they're divine and connect in all of these beautiful ways, and get to be with a community and get that guidance, so that if you are stuck on something, you can come to one of our Q&As. You can pick my brain, right? You can leave a comment in the community and say, hey, I'm trying to do this, but this is kind of, I'm not getting this. Can someone explain it to me? Right? And you have, it's like having me as your coach for a fraction, a very small fraction of the price that it would cost to actually have me as your coach. And that's what I created it for. So I hope, thank you guys for being with me tonight. Thank you guys for staying late, for doing all the practices, for journaling, and for being focused and committed here. And I would love to see you in Divinely Design Your Life, the process. And here's just some comments that I've gotten for people that were in my year, that have been in for a year. You know, I feel like an entirely different person since January. Same tremendous shift. This was like pasted out of a Zoom call. Life changing with all that happened. I'm so thankful for the space you have held and helped me through this year. I'm so grateful for this group and the support this year. It made a world of difference, and I can't imagine where I'd be if I never signed up for this. And I just had to share that with you because that's, those are the kind of things that come up inside the process. So divinelydesignyourlife.com to join, and I hope to see you at our 11/11 gathering. Thank you. I'll stay if anybody has any questions. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. Yay! And that's just another picture of the journal up close that you get if you want to join us tonight. All right, everyone. Have a lovely night. Happy new moon. Thank you for watching. And I hope to see you inside Divinely Design Your Life, the process. And we'll have an incredible year of creating the life of your dreams together.